Okay, today's video is on how to change a tire on a Hartway Vista Sport 12 mobility scooter. I'm going to do something a little bit different today. I've never done this before. I bought a new tire and a used tire. Both front tires are worn out and need to be replaced. One has a hole directly in it and the tire's flat. The other tire is just bald as all can be. So, without further ado, let's get to the video. Roll this around. I wish it had this keyed up here. I wonder where the hole is. A nice feature is that both the rim mounting screws and the rim assembly screws are both 8mm socketed cap screws, which require 6mm Allen key. When I bought the new tire, I purchased 2 spare inner tubes for the front, and unfortunately, they were the wrong size. So I ended up having to patch this inner tube. You seen how big the hole was? If you're interested in seeing that video, it's called Patching a Tube Without a Patch Kit. Can you tell the difference between this tire and this tire? They look basically identical. This tire here was bought as a used tire with an inner tube. This tire here was bought with 2 inner tubes. This tire here is $59. This tire here was $205 plus $35 tax. It is really important to clean the inside of the rim because if a little piece of dirt or debris falls in and rubs up against the inner tube, it could eventually puncture the tire. Okay, so now I'm going to try the used tire with the inner tube, and I never even took this inner tube out. It was shipped this exact way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have this guy here. This is the back, so the inner tube has to be facing towards the front. So I'm going to line up my valve stem hole here, push this forward, push this guy in, slide the tire in. Not a problem, seems pretty good. Let's pop this guy all the way around. So I have no inner tube sticking out whatsoever. Now I'm going to put this guy in, line it in with these holes that are here. It doesn't matter where it goes because there's no extra outlet for this guy here. So we just put this guy in here. Slaps right in there just like that. Turn it upside down. Put the rag underneath there to keep it up a bit. So it's sitting on that one. Take my bolt. That guy in there. Since this is all aluminum and it's relatively new, there's no binding or wedging or anything on here, so this is actually going together really easy. I've done this before and you've seen it in my other videos. Some of these tires are just a nightmare to deal with. Okay, I just went through this whole manual, and nowhere in this manual does it tell you the tire pressure or what's recommended for different countries. This says right here 32 psi, so I'll put 32 in this guy. .32, spot on. Okay, that's one tire done. And if I would have known the used tires came in this nicely, I absolutely would have ordered 2 of them. Now, because of all the salt and the snow that we go through, and yes, my dad will be driving this through the salt and the snow, I'm just going to touch the inside. With a little bit of silver anti-seize. That's all, just that little bit, that's all it takes. Now I'm going to feed these in by hand. I don't want to power them in. It is always difficult getting the first screw started, but it is important to do it by hand. This is also by far the easiest tire change I've ever done. Allen key. The largest expense on a scooter that I've run into is tires. Batteries are not as expensive as tires are, and you don't have to replace them as often. Okay, some of you might want to know where I purchased these tires from. I purchased them online from Wheelie Good Mobility Limited. It's a UK company. The prices weren't bad. Total Canadian was around $240. The only bad thing is about 1/3 of that cost was the price of the 2 tubes that were the wrong size. Would I recommend this company? I think I would use them again. So yeah, I guess I'd recommend them. Another mistake that I made is, yes, it does in the manual on page 6 tell you the proper tire inflation is between 30 and 25 psi. After reviewing the manual again, it does not tell you the torque for these tires. So I went online and using Torque Products Canada, I looked up the bolt size in the aluminum and it says 80 pounds. So that's what I used. Don't forget to read the disclaimer at the bottom. Use at your own risk. I'm glad to see that you enjoyed the video. If you've purchased tires for your scooter, please let us know how it went, where you bought it from, what the costs were, how the people were to deal with, and any other issues that you had, positive or negative. Leave them in the comments below so that other people can find good places to buy used tires and other parts for their scooter. If you got any value out of this video, please like and subscribe. It's free and it'll help me out. All you have to do is click on the icon on my face and I'll do the rest. Thank you and have a good night.